Every time something like big happened in my career, the first person I would go to like tell the news was my dad. And my dad wasn't really like, he wasn't really good with words. He wouldn't say like, oh my God, I love you so much, you're doing great, blah, blah, blah. But I knew he was so proud. And I remember hearing him at the phone with a friend, I don't know which friend it was, but he was saying like, oh, my daughter, she just joined this team. It's an American team. I don't know if you know. And he even said Dignitas, like his friend would know, of course. It's Dignitas, and I'm so proud, and la la. You can watch her play, and she's famous. She would say like, I was like the most famous person in the world for my father. Like, it was really cute. And my heart just like melted when I heard that. It was so like, oh my God. Seeing my parents proud is like, there's no price. That's like, I'm happy, I'm making them happy. Like, what else could I ask for?
It's going to come down to Showliana, 1 versus 1. It is going to take that one away. Of Brazilian soul, I'll always remember. Line up for Juliana, 3K. Let our hearts grow close.
I think the first time we met was when I came to Sao Paulo for an event.
Yeah, was it IEM Sao
It would have
Paulo?
been an IEM Sao Paulo, I think 2017.
Yeah, and I remember I used to see you in the broadcasts, and when I saw you in person, I remember I felt like, oh my God, this is really happening. I'm seeing people I only see like in my monitor. My inner fan was like, oh, but I was trying to act normal, like, hi.
I know, I remember, because I've known your name for so many years, and I'm like, oh my God, I get to meet her too. And it's so funny, because like I feel the same way. I was so excited. You always stood out, and it's not just for your playing, but like, you're hard to miss, because your personality is just so friendly, and your smile is so warm, and it's just your face that can't be forgotten. But it really resonated in 2018 when I saw you come. I think it was Keed Stars you were playing with in 2018 at the time. And it was just such a big moment for a Brazilian team, because normally it was the North American teams, the European teams that are always making it into the playoffs. And I just was so happy for your team when you made it into the playoffs. And, you know, I was on the analyst desk for that event, and just the passion you all had when you made it to the playoffs is just, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's what is so attractive from Dignitas and myself to a player like you, because we want people with passion, and that comes through when you're playing, and so I always remember that.
Wow, I have no words. It's so nice to hear that, especially from you, seriously. It means a lot. Thank you. If you ask me during that time, like, where would you see yourself in 5 years? I would never say, like, in Dignitas or, like, playing in an A or, like, this is... I still can't believe sometimes. Like, it's so huge. Like, I was the first Brazilian girl to, like, really play in a different region, and it was the biggest thing that happened in my career, for sure, like, joining Dig.
I remember we were very fortunate to get it's called your P1A visa, which is, it's hard to do. You're the first woman gamer that's a Brazilian that ever got a P1A visa, which basically to even get that, like, you have to prove to the United States that there's not a better player in the country to get, and that's why we have to, we knew you're the right fit, and I'm getting my chills right now.
My haters are gonna cry now.
Yeah.
Juliana has been showing up.
Here we go, we see the right clicks. Very nice spot.
Spike planted.
Oh my God. Showliana with the marksmanship. There's the head.
What a shot. What a shot.
Showliana, Proliana, whatever you want to call her, like, Showliana's cracked out, and she's done it really in her entire time with Dignitas.
It's half. It's a touch. They need to breathe on her to set this up for game point. Showliana is able to do it.
Showliana looks to find her way on out of this one, and she does just that.
So you grew up in Santos, Brazil?
Yeah, I grew up in Santos. I love Santos. It's a beach city, so I used to go to the beach a lot when I was a kid.
Was gaming big there? Was like going to LAN centers? I guess you were pretty young when you got started in gaming.
Yeah, I have an older brother. He's 5 years older. He played for the local LAN team for a while, and I remember like he was doing great, and like he was good. Actually, I used to watch him a lot, and I was watching my brother playing. He's playing on this too with a P90, and I'm like, hey, I'm bored. Can you play something else? And he's like, okay, sit here and play. And just drops me there in middle of B of those two. I have a P90. I rush, like, how do you call it? Upper?
Yeah, upper.
Okay,
Upper
I rushed
B,
the upper
yeah.
with the P90.
Yeah.
I killed 3 with a spray, and I'm like, okay, this is the best game I ever played. I want to play this forever.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you take a screenshot of that?
No, I never did. Yeah.
It sounds very much like my story, except my brother was younger than me, and he was always playing, and he was on the local team from the computer store. And I think your dad, too, was a big supporter of your gaming as well, right?
In a way, yeah, because we would always have, like, the video games, the computer. My dad was really into, like, technology. My parents started, like, watching, too, and kind of just watching my games. They wouldn't understand anything, but they would watch and support, and they saw I was like so much happier than I was at my job. So that was what made them really support me when they saw how happy I was.
That's amazing. You're so close to your family, you know. It meant that, you know, maybe you'd have to leave, but I know that was hard at the time.
Yeah, we were on lockdown. No one could really leave their country. It was crazy. And that was, looking back, I see that was awesome, actually, because my dad passed away a short time after. So I actually got to spend more time with him before he passed. And I'm really glad I had that time.
Yeah.
I feel it was so much better the way it was.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, that was obviously a hard time for you and the family.
It was super hard, yeah. When he got sick, we thought it was just something like flu or something like that would be taken care like quick. And we found it out like 2 or 3 weeks later that he had an infection on his heart. His previous condition, the infection was too strong when they found it out, and he couldn't really eat. He was too like weak, and I remember. Oh, sorry. I was supposed to go to see him on Friday, the last day he was conscious, and I didn't go because we had a tourney. And I couldn't let my team down. That's what I felt like. Okay, my dad's at the hospital, but I just joined this team. I want to play. I want to be there. Like, I don't want to not be there. Like, of course, I wanted to be with my dad, but I wasn't expecting him, like, to not see him again. And I remember the Wednesday, like, before he died, I felt something that I never felt before. I just had to go see my dad. And since, like, we were during the COVID time, so only one person was allowed to go see him per day. And it was usually my mom. I had this feeling like, I need to see my dad. I need to see my dad, like, today. I need to go now. And we had to call the hospital, like, director and say, like, yeah, he's in really bad condition. His daughter wants to see him. And I actually got to, like, go see him. And he wasn't responding anymore. Like, he wouldn't open his eyes or anything. But I remember that day I talked a lot to him. And he like, pressed my hand when I was talking to him. And I also saw him crying. So I know he was listening. And after I knew why I felt I had to go and talk to him, because he was still there, he was still listening. And that's why I needed to, I told him he should rest and just go, because I knew he was suffering. I knew he didn't want to go, but he had to. And I just told him, just go, we're gonna be okay. And he went. He died a few days after.
The praia in the sun, the fall in the night. Garota brasileira dancing into the daylight. De swing e rebolado, don't know how but I try to. Seu jeitinho e o carinho, something that I'd fly to.
When this type of thing happens in your life, you don't really know who's gonna be there for you. And I had that experience of like people I have never imagined would be there for me. Like they helped me so much. You guys were part of it. Like I had just joined the team. It was so recent, and you gave me so much support. Like it just showed me that you guys cared, and like it meant a lot to me at that time. It was super nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we could be there for you during that hard time. And then Taco too. I'm sure he looked after you during that time.
Yeah, it was hard because I was in Brazil and he was in Serbia, I think, when my dad passed. It was hard not having Taco with me, but then right after that, we had the opportunity to move here together, and we started this new chapter in our life.
São bonitos, né?
Aqui, ó.
De prima? Ela não conhece você.
Gostei também.
A primeira memória que vem na minha cabeça é essa boa impressão que eu cheguei até a falar com você sobre, tipo, caramba, achei muito legal o seu pai. E realmente achei, de verdade. Uma pessoa que tinha uma aura boa, assim.
Logo que ele se foi, assim, vieram várias dúvidas, né, na minha cabeça. Tipo, será que ele tava mesmo orgulhoso de mim? Será que ele foi embora e, não sei, que ele tava feliz com a filha que ele tinha? Depois também, no enterro dele, todas as pessoas que trabalhavam com ele, pessoas que eu nunca tinha visto na vida, falavam: nossa, você é a famosa Juliana, que o seu pai sempre fala, e é jogadora, eu não sei o quê. E foi como um abraço, assim, foi como se ele estivesse me mandando essa mensagem. Não sei o quê, eu senti um carinho, assim, que ele diretamente não demonstrava tanto pra mim, mas que eu sabia que estava lá. E é triste falar disso agora, mas foi muito legal, assim, eu senti realmente que, ok, eu deixei ele orgulhoso.
Eu não tenho... E nunca tive, desde que eu conheci o seu pai e vi da relação de vocês, eu nunca tive nenhum tipo de dúvida do quão orgulhoso ele se sentia de ter você como filha, o quão bem ele falava de você, o quão ele enchia a boca pra falar da filha que ele tinha. Então, do amor, eu nunca tive dúvidas. Que ele era, provavelmente, qualquer pessoa que visse vocês dois, sei lá, por 10 minutos, iam ver que ele era um pai que amava muito a filha.
Tá bem.
Então, na época, quando eu recebi também a mensagem, eu já sabia, já sentia o quão difícil ia ser pra você lidar com essa perda.
Eu acho que o mais difícil foi porque foi muito rápido. Mas eu acho que o luto vem de diferentes maneiras para cada pessoa, né? Eu acho que o mais importante é você tentar se rodear de pessoas que te amam e que querem te ver bem. O seu mundo pode estar caindo, mas você percebe que a vida continua e que todo mundo continua vivendo a vida deles e ninguém é você naquele sofrimento, não tem mais ninguém. E isso é um pouco duro, assim, de aceitar no começo, porque você fica, nossa, é muito injusto que eu esteja sofrendo tanto e as pessoas, nossa, estão vivendo normalmente. E dá meio que essa sensação de que injusto. Mas eu acho que não tem fórmula secreta para quando você perde alguém. Acho que tentar seguir a vida da maneira mais leve e tranquila que você conseguir para seguir em paz mesmo. O fato da gente ter se mudado pra cá, eu fiquei mais perto de você, que foi algo que, né, a gente ficou quase 5 anos à distância, era difícil também ter você longe, enfim, tá sofrendo tudo isso. Foi a primeira vez que eu tava saindo do Brasil, saindo da casa dos meus pais, me mudando pra um país novo, pra jogar num time estrangeiro. Eu acho que todas essas coisinhas foram ajudando, assim, a criar essa nova Juliana, porque parece que depois que você sofre um trauma grande desse, você dá uma amadurecida e que você se torna outra pessoa. Eu sinto um pouco disso, assim.
É fazer do limão a limonada, né? Eu acho que você tem feito, desde o acontecimento, uma boa limonada. Apesar de todo o desastre, né, acontecido. Tem sido uma boa limonada. Creio que foi muito importante as mudanças, né, que você fez após o acontecido.
Eu acho que é muito diferente também estar vivendo com você. Na verdade, é bem melhor na questão de poder, assim, no dia a dia. Eu acho que pra você deve ser bom também, porque, sei lá, quer desabafar alguma coisa do treino, tipo, é muito fácil eu falar pra você alguma coisa que aconteceu no meu treino ou você pra mim, porque nós dois jogamos. E é uma coisa que não acontecia no Brasil, eu ia, óbvio, eu provavelmente ia falar com você pelo telefone, mas eu não ia chegar pra minha mãe e falar, ai, mãe, aconteceu um round aqui, que não sei o quê, eu tô estressada. Não ia acontecer isso. Então, eu acho que essa é uma parte legal também da gente estar mais próximo. E, pessoalmente, eu acho que a gente está vivendo a mesma coisa, assim, profissionalmente, ajuda muito um ao outro a se apoiar.
Eu acho que isso é algo riquíssimo e muito bom também de a gente se ter, né? Digamos assim.
Sim. E quando eu paro para pensar também, se você não estivesse aqui, é bem assustador, sinceramente. Eu acho que eu sinto que eu não teria conseguido sem você aqui. E pra mim é tipo, é meu pilar mesmo ter você aqui, porque eu fico, pelo menos se alguma coisa muito ruim acontecer, tem o Taco aqui. É tipo...
Eu tenho a minha pessoa aqui.
É
mais ou menos isso.
Minha pessoa de confiança.
Minha pessoa está indo aí.
Você é a minha pessoa.
Você é a minha pessoa.
Quer saber de onde sou? Brasileira, meu amor, Brasil.
Eu lembro que a gente estava brincando esses dias de o quão muito você gostaria de ganhar o seu primeiro título, né? Eu, na minha carreira, eu consegui ganhar alguns títulos e eu lembro, né, do quão frustrada você ficou, né, quando perdeu ou quando perde mesmo o campeonato. Justamente por essa vontade que você tem de ganhar, de ser campeã, de levantar troféu, etc. Isso foi o que me guiou por muito tempo na minha carreira. Então, é legal quando eu vejo esse tipo de frustração, porque eu sei que a razão, o motivo por trás é algo maior. Então, por mais que a gente brinque, né? Quando a gente brincou lá de eu ter ganho alguns troféus, você não ter ganho ainda alguns troféus, isso é o primeiro passo para conseguir isso, é acreditar e ir atrás, né? Então,
Eu gostaria muito de ter a quantidade de troféus que você tem. Passa pra mim um pouquinho.
Got a bright future ahead. There's so much to look forward to, and you know.
I'm in the best moment in my career, like so far. Game Changers is coming up. Of course, we want to go back home with the win. That's all we want, the win. So that has to be it. I'm feeling this the one.
The swing and the samba, todo mundo bamba. La alma brasileira, drinking coffee with a capoeira.
Showliana, nice shots to get 3, a flawless round for Dignitas.
Atlanta to Paraná.
That's a huge play.
Showliana isn't done yet.
I get to be here and practice with my team, live my dream, which is like what I'm living, being on an esports team, one of the best in the world.
Showliana drops the up.
Juliana's actually going to completely eliminate rushes using just the Hunter's Fury. And this is it for Dignitas. This is the end game. Ace! Juliana is going to be the showstopper here.
I don't know, I just want to be the best and I feel I'm on the right way and there's a lot to come.
Of Brazilian soul, I'll always remember.